From News on 6, this is breaking news.
Good morning, I'm Dave Davis in the News on 6 newsroom. We're breaking into the Price is Right because the University of Oklahoma is about to introduce the football program's 23rd head coach, Brent Venables. The voice of the Sooners, Toby Rowland, is speaking now. Let's listen in.
The University of Oklahoma, Sooner football has been a proud tradition now for well over a century. And today we begin a new and exciting chapter.
This place is in a hell of a lot better shape than it was in December 1, 1998. We're a perennial top 5, 10, 15 team every single year. All right, we're playing that kind of football. This job is going to attract the very best in the coaching world. This is a real job. This is a great job, a great university with great leadership.
Family. We mean it. Coach Stoops proved it. We are the Sooner family. And when family is in need, it steps forward. For generations, you have come to the corner of Lindsay and Jenkins dressed in crimson and cream. You, your children, your parents, their parents, and beyond. This place is home. Players have poured out blood and sweat on these hallowed grounds for those trophies, for those statues, for this unequaled tradition, for you, the Sooner family. And today, we welcome our new leader. A new era of Oklahoma football dawns. From Benny to Bud, to Barry, to Bob. Great men have carried this legacy, this family forward for decades. And today, the torch is passed. Today, the future of Oklahoma football begins. Joined by Sooner legends of the past and the proud and loyal Sooners of today, and embraced by the entire Sooner Nation. We are unwavering. We are unstoppable. We are the Sooner family. Here we go. Live from the Palace on the Prairie, historic Owen Field in Norman, Oklahoma. This is Sooner football.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Oklahoma Sooners! Let's hear it again for your Oklahoma Sooners. Some of the all-time greats back with us. I don't know all of them that are here, but I did see Superman Roy Williams is down here with us as well today.
This is Oklahoma.
This is where winning was invented. This is the home of the Selmans,
The home of DeMarco.
of McCoy, Shepard, and Huron. This is the home of the Billies,
The home of Steve and Jason. Of Sam, Baker, and Kyler.
People don't know what it is to be champions. Oklahoma invented championships.
The history of Oklahoma is about winning championships. We already have 6 national championships, now we have 7.
This is my home.
And this is your home.
It's great to see not just our current team, but joining us today, many players and coaches from years past. No matter what era they represent, they are OU football. To all who are here and those watching online, thank you again for joining us on this historic occasion. It's been a long week. Been a lot of scrolling-itis out there, refreshing Twitter. Some of you haven't seen your wives or husbands or children in a week, even though you live in the same house. I've got good news. You can unhitch the wagon and put the pony in the barn. It's over. We got our guy. We have a star lineup of speakers this morning, beginning with what an incredible start it has already been to his presidency. Please welcome the 15th president of the University of Oklahoma, Joseph Harris, Jr.
Super fan. Hey, this is the OU family. What a week it's been. What a week it's been. We landed yesterday evening. I thought there might be a couple of hundred people out there. There were thousands, right? This is the OU family. And this week we've shown who we are. We could not be more proud to be a part of it. I want to thank a few people here very quickly that have made all of this possible, all of these things possible. I want to start off with our regents who lead this university. There are 4 of them here, and their guidance is invaluable. They aren't often up here, but they're the ones leading us. We have Chairman Cawley. We've got Vice Chairman Governor Keating. We've got Anita Holloway, and we have Rick Nagel. Thank you to each one of you all for being here. So yesterday we took a trip to South Carolina. We go in there and there's a conversation, as you might have seen over in the Venables house. And it was so great because it was seeing family we hadn't seen in a long time. We're going to hear a lot from our new head coach in a minute. But his family is here with us in the front row right now. A lot of people here know them. A lot of us knew the kids when they were really young. Julie is here, and all 4 kids, all 4 of the Venables kids are Sooner born in Norman, Oklahoma. Jake, Tyler, Lanny, Addie. And finally, before I get to it, I want to thank a few more people that have made this possible. I want to thank the greatest athletic director in this country who made this happen, Joe Castiglione. Right, and there are so many people, not just those of us that are on this stage right here, but you look at those that make things like this possible, the list goes on and on. But it's people like Zach Selman, Larry Nafee, Anil Galahali, right? You go across Cale Gundy, You go across these people that all make this happen. This is a family affair. You look at the Pride of Oklahoma, the Spirit Squad, right? You look at the Roughnecks. It's what's make this family work. All right, I've got a message to deliver from somebody that wishes he were here. As you might imagine, there's been a lot of conversation with Bob Stoops over the last week. Right, he steps up every time. He wanted to be here, but he's busy on Fox. He's also busy getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. That's right. And so Bob delivered a speech to me to give to you. And it's, as you can imagine, of some length. It's 7 words. These are his 7 words, and I'll read them verbatim. He said, "Use tell them, we got our guy." Hey, most of all, the discussion that was stated last week about who we are and who is OU football. Right? Every one of these t-shirts says it right here. Every one of you guys. I may have gotten cut in 7th grade, which was rough, and I'm still dealing with it. But you all, everything you've been through, everything you'll go through, you are OU football, and we owe you a debt. Thank you to you all. You know, you saw the video, and you saw in the video the Sooner tradition, right? You see all the greats, all the great coaches, who it seems all names start with a B. That's right. You hear me. All those great coaches. But what we do every day is not just brag about the legacies in the past. Here we create them every single day and into the future. And you are players. I cannot tell you how proud we are of you. And for each of you, on the few of you that I've been a part of recruiting, we talk about a few things every time. I don't know the X's and O's, but I do know what we promise to you in every one of those recruiting conversations we have. Right? We talk about not just excellence on the field, right? But a place where you can develop as a person, as a whole person. A place where you can belong to something well after your playing years are over. And you know what? A lot of great schools talk about that. But here at OU, we live it. And when we went out and looked for a coach, we had 2 criteria. The first criteria was, do they have coaching excellence? And you look at the resume, and I know you all already know it, but our new coach has a resume, it's second to none. Right? And yeah, absolutely. His teams have been in the top 15 in the nation in total defense for each of the previous 7 years, with 6 of those being top 10 in the country. In his 26 years as a full-time coach, has never had a losing season. His teams have won 12 conference championships. He's coached in 8 national championship games, and he's got 3 rings to prove it. His players are routinely recognized with the highest honors and awards, right? The Butkus Award, first and second team All-American, the Hendricks Award, the Campbell Trophy, which is the academic Heisman. I see you, Pat Fields. He's known, and his resume is complete. He's waited his entire career patiently for the right head coaching job. But the second criteria isn't just, are you a great coach? It's, will you believe and will you live those ideals we talked about developing the whole student athlete, about preparing you not just for the league, but well beyond, about being a place where we keep our commitments, in a place where we are family. And I could not be more proud to have him as our new coach. Let's wrap this thing up from my part. Coach, welcome home.
Thank you, President Harris. We wanted to have a student-athlete representative today, and there was one obvious choice. He is wrapping up his 6th season at OU. So many big moments, including the kickoff return, strip, and fumble recovery against Texas this year. He has demonstrated inspirational toughness and leadership. He's already got a degree in communication, a master's degree in administrative leadership, and he will complete his 3rd degree at OU next month in business administration. Please welcome Caleb Kelly, everybody.
Thank you. Coach, now, you've been gone for a little bit, so I just wanted to remind you what you were missing. Boomer! Boomer! You know, you've been here for a short amount of time, but you have a past, and all my big bros from the past, Curtis Lofton, Rufus Alexander, you got Teddy Lehman, you have that track record, Coach. You have those guys that I look up to, those big bros for me that have already said you are the guy. You have these guys up here who have already said you are the guy. You have this family that you keep talking about that says you are the guy. And so now it's time to go to work. It's time to go to work. Me personally and my brothers, we know what that family is about. We're still here. We are OU. You can see it on our shirts. You can see it in what we do. We're going to continue to bust our butt for y'all, and we got your back. And so, Coach, I mean, from a player, from all of us, man, welcome home. It's time to go to work, baby. Let's do what we got to do.
When you think of the word clutch, you think of guys who always deliver. Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, Tiger Woods. I think we now know what the C stands for in Joe C. Please join me in welcoming the Vice President of Intercollegiate Athletics at OU, the #1 ranked athletic director in America, Joey Clutch himself, Joe Castiglione.
Thank you. Thank you, Toby. Thank you. Boomer. We're going to hear that a lot the rest of the day and for days to come. It's really glad to be out of the witness protection program. I see my lovely wife. We've passed each other at the house once or twice in the last 6 days. I got to wave in. Thank you, honey, for being patient. Sleep is overrated, I'll tell you that. Sleep, don't worry about it. We're here today because of you. OU, but you. And what our president said and the support that we've gotten from our regents, our administrators all across campus, my administrative team, Zach and Larry, Anil, Greg, Joey, all this stuff doesn't just happen with one person. It happens because of all of us. And we've got the best leader on a college campus today, and our president, Joe Harris. Thank you very much for your wisdom and your support and your guidance. The one thing, everything that has been said should have been said, and we're going to make this short. There is one thing that we have learned over and over. Sometimes situations develop and we get reminded. What happens to one of us happens to all of us. And there is no doubt, and this week, if there wasn't a week before that already proved it, this week proved it again. We are better together, always and forever together. And that was really easy for me to show and to sell. Our new coach experienced that for 13 years. The last 10 years, maybe one of the most significant, if not the most significant, coordinator in college football with his success in supporting his staff and his players. You're always going to love the passion you remember, but you're going to love his fight even more. You're going to always love the way that he gets the best out of his players, but you're going to love his vision even more. You're going to love the way he brings us together. But you know what? He is going to love you even more. When he came to Norman, along with Coach Soups, in 1999, that was his first time. And he comes to Norman in 21 now, 22. This will be the last time. He is home for good. So, thank you for showing out. Thank you for showing what the OU family is all about and exhibiting that logo isn't just a brand, it's a way of life. It helps, it matters, and it drives us to be even more passionate for you. And thank you to all of our players, current and former. How about this showing? Unbelievable. And without further ado, I'd like to recognize the Venables family. First, Laney, Addie, Jake, and Tyler, and now the new First Lady of Oklahoma football, Julie Venables. Julie, I know you don't want to come up all the way to the stage, but I'll hand this off. And Coach, there'll be a lot of other things you're going to acquire. You get gifts, there'll be equipment, there'll be tools that you need to do your job. But like the old saying goes, no one knows the path of a man until they've walked in their shoes. But at Oklahoma, there's some special shoes that you get to show. So, the beauty of Oklahoma and the partnership of the Jordan brand is unlike anything else. Coach, I've been fortunate to have a pair of these, and players say they're always checking out my drip. I want to make sure they check out your drip. You're going to have a lot more of these than I do, but come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute proudest honor to be able to introduce to you for the first time your new head football coach, Brent Venables. We have one other gift that we'd like to give Coach Venables. You know that we get to play in one of the most storied stadiums in not just the world, but the country, not just the country, but the world. We call it the palace on the prairie, and our president, Joe Harris, has something for Coach Venables.
The keys to the palace.
The keys to the palace.
Put your drip down here, Joe. Thank you. I just want to take the opportunity to thank everybody for being here. This is really amazing. This is special. Probably shouldn't be surprising, having had experience here, but this is really, really amazing. And there's a saying that goes, it's not about what somebody does, it's how they make you feel. And the Sooner family, Sooner Nation, this administration, the Board of Regents, talk about first impressions for us. This is really special, and it couldn't have gone any better. And just I want to thank you. That's a bit, like you said, it doesn't just happen, and but it got to come from the right place. And I know this all right here, okay, comes from the heart. And we just, from Julie and I and our family, we just want to thank everybody for being here today. Thank you. Apologize. I'm gonna have me some few notes. I really didn't know if this was going to happen. As y'all kind of watch from afar, these searches can go one way or the other. I've been on both sides of it now, and just very thankful for again the patience in the process. It's not easy for anybody, but just again thankful that we're here today. And as I stand here, just in awe, and coolest thing getting off the plane last night to see the welcoming and hurricane type wind weather, and then have an opportunity just prior to that to visit with the team, get on the Zoom with the players. That was my comfort zone there, and that was neat. But to be able to wake up today and come into the office and have a team meeting today, I'm not sure when the last time I felt so fulfilled and excited, and I just want to thank the players for being there today. And I want to tell you guys here right now how thankful, grateful, and appreciative I am of you and to be your head football coach. Only God can do this. And those that know my background, having grown up in a very dysfunctional way, and put me here as I stand before you as a head football coach at the University of Oklahoma, only God can do this. And so I just want to take this opportunity to thank the Lord. I'm honored and I'm humbled to stand with you and before you today as your next head football coach here at Oklahoma. Again, one of the winningest and storied tradition-rich programs in the history of college football. Now, taking the lead and also taking it through one of the biggest transition in the history of college football, taking Oklahoma from the Big 12 to the SEC, you've got your guy to take you on this journey. Also, make no mistake about it, Oklahoma has been and always will be the measuring stick in college football. Our goal is we want to be the model program in all of college football, okay, in regards to how we run our program, okay, not just the winning. The winning is a big part of that, but we want to be the model for all others to follow. The best resources that we have on this campus, okay, or young men that we recruit are the people. And this is going to be a people-driven, a relational-driven program, not a transactional program, okay? But it's not just finding the right people, whether it's the leaders in this administration, it's the Board of Regents, it's these players, it's the former players, okay? It's the intention of the people that always matters. And speaking of people, we have incredible people in place in the leadership role. At this time, I'd like to thank President Harris, who brought the juice today. That's what I'm talking about. The best college president in all of America. And you brought the juice. I'd like to thank Joe Castiglione and for your leadership and your faith in me as well. And the Board of Regents, okay, for your support. We can't do this without your support, and I know you're behind the scenes, but we are just incredibly indebted to you. Thank you very much. What makes this job so special as well and attractive for me is the cohesion, the commitment, the alignment, the direction, the vision, and the focus of this program. It's a university-wide leadership that is focused on excellence in everything that we do. Excellence has been established by Coach Wilkinson, Coach Switzer, and Coach Stoops. 3 Hall of Fame coaches that are the example of what the standard looks like. It's my responsibility to relentlessly defend that standard and to build upon that standard as we go through our journey. To the former players that are here at Oklahoma, you're always welcome. This is your home. This program was built by you and it'll be sustained by you. Anything that you ever need, you can come to my office. You reach me anytime. We're here for you, and we're here because of you. You're a forever pipeline to this university. We need you now more than ever in changing the landscape of college football, okay, for us to continue to build and recruit the best of the best, okay? We need your support. To the university community and the faculty and the staff, the Bible says there's one body, but many parts. No part is more important than the other. We'll do everything in our power to do the very best work alongside with you to make you proud, okay? Doing our very best to represent you and this great university. We'll strive to be a program that is progressive and forward-thinking in everything that we do, okay? And it maintains a what's next windshield mentality. Everything that we do in our program, every decision that I have to make, that we have to make, is going to be about what's best for the players. Everything. If in fact the program is about the players, then every decision that we make is about what's best for you. As I told them in the team meeting today, sometimes what's best for the players don't like, right? But what we do is going to be in your best interest. The purpose of our program, we're going to take a holistic approach. We're going to find every way possible, every means possible to serve your heart, not your talent. That's real. That's relational, not transactional. That holistic approach is going to give us the edge that we all need, okay, and the lifelong lasting relationships, okay, that are irreplaceable. In order to do this, okay, our number one goal and our purpose of our program is to graduate our players. Nothing will create more opportunity, okay, and more change, generational opportunities for your families than getting your degree. So we're going to give you every resource possible to support that on your journey. I want to produce winning people on and off the field, equipping you with life-lasting tools that you can take into your communities, you take into your families, okay? That you can grow spiritually into your churches, okay? Chase your NFL dreams. Be a CEO. We're going to equip you with real, life-lasting, intangible, okay? And we're going to do everything that we can to, when you leave here, that you're proud of your university. You look back, that 30-year-old version looks back on you and is grateful for your opportunity, knowing that the people there loved you, cared about you, and helped you succeed in life. Thirdly, what these young people do is incredibly hard. They're in the spotlight, they're in the biggest stage, in the biggest games. Okay, with that comes scrutiny. Okay, being a college student athlete, from study hall hours to tutors to class schedule to lifting to the grind, it's very real. Okay, and it's difficult to manage. Okay, so our goal too is also to make sure these young people have fun. College should be a fun experience. It should be the best times of your life. okay, where real life-lasting relationships are developed, and it's our charge to make sure that you have a great college experience. Okay, and finally, I want them to win a championship. I think it's very important. I think it's very important that you understand that order, okay, to graduate, to equip them with tools that last for a lifetime, okay, to have a great college experience, and then the winning happens when you get that right. Okay, so we're gonna keep the main thing in our program, okay, and ensure that we get all of those accomplished. I love my players, past and present. They'll tell you that. I'm going to coach them really, really hard, but I'm going to love them more. I'm going to love them more. We will employ an exciting, fast, explosive, and diverse offense combined with a physical, punishing, relentless, suffocating defense. We're going to have a diverse and an experienced, a knowledgeable staff. They're great in the X's and the O's, but the best thing that this staff is going to be able to do is they're going to love the players. They're going to have real relationships with you, a relationship-driven program. Again, serving your heart, not your talent. In closing, I just want to thank a few more people. First and foremost, I want to thank my family. And as you all know, being a college football coach's wife, just like being an athletic director's wife, it's not easy. You know what you signed up for. But my beautiful wife, Julie, I'm just so incredibly indebted and thankful. The reason I'm standing here today is because of you. Thank you. To my children, y'all love this story. Sometimes you need just a little bit more encouragement to get you pulled through the knothole. So my daughter and I, about a month ago, were laying up in her bed and we're saying prayers, and I'm always telling you to dream big, right? Don't put limitations on yourself. Don't let somebody tell you that you can't accomplish something. So she says, well, Dad, why didn't you take the Auburn job last year? Because I had made reference that I was a little bit nervous. I really didn't think we had the alignment there that we have here. So I was a little bit nervous. I said I was scared for her. She says, you don't have to be scared. You told us to dream big. Chase your dreams, she told me. So they're the ones that fueled me, okay, to make that final decision to say yes to Oklahoma. So I want to thank my daughters. Also, I want you to know, I've got a couple of other people to thank, but I want you to know I started my career as a crawl-on at Kansas State and played for Bill Schneider, also a Hall of Fame coach. Just an amazing man, an amazing man. And the belief in me, the tools that he instilled in me, the opportunity that he gave me, I'll be indebted forever. On that staff, the guy that recruited me out of high school was Bob Stoops. In transitioning, as you know, I played at Kansas State and then hung around long enough where they just had to hire me, and I coached there for a few years. And Coach Stoops was hired as the head coach at Oklahoma. We're playing at Kansas State. We're playing for the Big 12 title. We're the #1 team in the country. We had just a heartbreaking loss in triple overtime to Texas A&M. And I'm visiting with Coach Snyder about what my next decision is going to be. And he asked me, he says, well, how do you know, because I had alluded that I'd love to have a chance to go coach for Coach Stoops. And the reason being, I just wasn't ready yet. I knew in my heart I wasn't ready to be the defensive coordinator at Kansas State. So going to Oklahoma, I could continue to learn from Coach Stoops. And he says, well, how do you know Coach Stoops is going to be successful? And I said, well, that's Bob Stoops. That's all he knows is how to win. And who would have thought? 13 years later, and four national championship appearances, and the most wins in college football over that 13-year period of time. Just one hell of a run. I'm working for Coach Stoops, and just want to thank him for his continued belief in me, instilling in me with a go for broke mentality. And he told me this a long time ago. Don't ever be afraid of making a decision because you're worried about what the criticism is going to be if it doesn't work. And so for me, that's always helped me having a very, very aggressive philosophy defensively. But I just want to thank Coach Stoops for, again, all of his guidance and his encouragement along my journey. My position coach, Jim Levitt, he brought the passion out of me. I didn't think it was possible to have a job and love your job that much and get paid. But Jim Levitt has been a great mentor of mine as well. And then Coach Sweeney at Clemson. Y'all know we've had incredible success there. The secret sauce there is the people. Like any great family, any great organization, it's the people. And I've grown more in these last 10 years holistically as a man, as a husband, as a father, as a coach, as a believer than I have the rest of my life. And I'm just incredibly indebted. Their family there. And I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't, again, for his belief in me and his lovely wife, Kathleen, and their children. They're all like family. And my players at Clemson, y'all know, and the former players that are here, the only reason that I'm standing up here is because of your work, your passion, your love, your commitment. And again, I'm just grateful for those relationships. And although I'm in Oklahoma, okay, family is family. And again, to these former players here today, man, what a showing. Y'all are amazing. You current players, I know you're paying attention. Okay, what a great example. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is what it looks like. You are the example. And again, lastly, I just want to express my sincere gratitude, okay, and appreciation for being here today. But trust me, it gets better. Boomer! Boomer! Love y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the 23rd head coach at the University of Oklahoma, Brent Venables.
That is the 23rd head coach of the University of Oklahoma, Brent Venables. OU fans will also want to know quarterback Caleb Williams was spotted by one of our reporters walking into that celebration. So much more coming up. News on 6 at noon with Shannon and Jonathan. We'll see you in about 30 minutes.
Coach.
Oklahoma's own News on 6 starts now with breaking news.
In the history of college football, taking Oklahoma from the Big 12 to the SEC, you've got your guy to take you on this journey.
And with that, the Brent Venables era gets underway in Norman. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Jonathan Cooper.
And I'm Shannon Russo. A big day for OU fans with the announcement of the 23rd head coach of OU. News on 6's Tavis Hillis is in Norman with more details on this big announcement. Tavis.
Huge day for the University of Oklahoma. It is just now clearing up at the Everest Training Center, where hundreds of people showed up, whether that be students skipping class or even people maybe taking their own PTO to come see the new head coach, Brent Venables. Now I want you to look straight up right behind me. You're seeing that national champion 2000. That's when OU won their 7th national championship, and that was under the direction of defensive co-coordinator Brent Venables. So he is being welcomed home. Now take a look at this video. The players and coach walked in together. Also there was Joe Castiglione and Joseph Harris. So really what this message was, they were walking from the palace on the prairie straight here to the training Everest Center. I mean, it's been pretty powerful. Now those players speaking out to us today, I was able to speak to Caleb Kelly, where he said, you know, I wish I was going to be able to play for him. He is going to be all about the family aspect here at OU football. It's going to be something pretty exciting. Now I want to touch on the things that coach said today. He said the players here and the past players, this is your ground. This is the reason we're here today. I'm not the head coach because I'm the greatest of all greats, but because of the players we have here at the University of Oklahoma. Now he also touched on how he wants good relationships not only with coaches but players. So I mean, the guys that showed up today were really excited. They were all jumping up and down to walk into the Everest Training Center. Now it's been pretty exciting. Those guys all wearing on their shirts, "We are OU football." It really is feeling like a family inside here. The crowds went wild, the players went wild. Now I do want to touch on that we did see star quarterback Caleb Williams walk in, a part of that OU family. We do not know whether he's going to stay with the OU family or even transfer. That is still up for questioning, but I mean, he was here today showing his support for new head coach Brent Venables. For now, we're in Norman. I'm Oklahoma's own Tavis Hillis.
And Venables is stepping into his position as head coach for the first time ever in his career. Venables was on Oklahoma's staff under Bob Stoops as co-defensive coordinator from 1999 to 2003, and then defensive coordinator from 2004 to 2011. At Clemson, he won the Broyles Award in 2016 as the nation's top assistant. He's been on the staff of teams that won 3 national titles and played in 8 national championship games.
And Shannon, that blast from the past experience with the Sooners could be beneficial.
Steve McGee continues our team coverage and explains how Brent Venables will look to dominate this new role as head coach.
Brent is more than ready to step into the head coaching ranks. He's worked under 3 head coaches. All 3 know how to win and do it the right way, all successful. His first coaching challenge was with Bill Snyder at Kansas State. Then he moved to the University of Oklahoma to work for Bob Stoops, and most recently at Clemson for Dabo Swinney. Brent helped the Tigers win 2 national titles as their defensive coordinator. His first championship was with Bob in 2000. A very energetic coach, very active on the sidelines, and I doubt that will slow down next fall. He's known as one of the best defensive coordinators out there, and high marks for his ability to talk and reel in recruits. A hard-working recruiter. Life sometimes is all about timing, and the time was right for Brent to come back to Oklahoma, a chance that was just too good to pass up. Brent, a native of Salina, Kansas, will turn 51 later this month. He's loaded with experience and energy to help Oklahoma's move to the SEC when that day arrives.
And now that OU has its man, the question is, how soon can we start seeing it pay off?
News on 6's Dean Blevins has Brent Venables' recipe for success.
Well, we're not going to know for maybe 4 years about how good the hire was with Brent Venables, but I can tell you, you know how some coaches win the press conference? You know, after they're named coach, that first press conference, they get everybody fired up. Brent Venables won the pomp and circumstance arrival last night when he flew in, well orchestrated by Oklahoma, and he met hundreds, if not 1,000 or so, out at Max Westheimer. Handled that great. His energy, his persona, his charisma, his good looks, a lot of the stuff that he will bring will be so positively impressionable to the players, and that's the most important thing here. I mean, Brent's ultimately going to have to prove that he's going to bring in Jeff Lebby, the offensive coordinator. That's a good thing. He's going to have to prove he can do a lot of things that he's never done before. Told me he never wanted to be a head coach, but the biggest thing he has to do, and he has the tools to be more successful than most at it is that using his persuasive abilities, get those Caleb Williams and premier players and all the others looking at possibly leaving, or some that have already committed to leave, and then you have the recruits of 2022, and then you worry about 23 later. He has a chance and the background and the history to be able to persuade some, maybe many, to stay, and perhaps even Caleb Williams, which if he saves him, then Oklahoma's honeymoon with Brent Venables will certainly be a lot longer than it could be.
And that was News on 6's Dean Blevins. Bob Stoops will remain in charge of the Sooners for their bowl game. OU is heading down to San Antonio to take on the number 14 Oregon Ducks in the Valero Alamo Bowl on December 29th. The Cowboys, meanwhile, head west for a New Year's Day matchup against number 5 Notre Dame in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. And with TU just becoming bowl eligible, the Golden Hurricane head to South Carolina to face Old Dominion on that teal turf at Coastal Carolina in the Myrtle Beach Bowl. That game is 2 weeks from today.
We'll see how the weather shapes up for all of those in the coming weeks. Today here in Green Country, hey, it actually feels like December for probably the first day in December. Looks mighty nice, tons of blue sky, lots of sunshine. It's a beautiful looking day. Doesn't exactly feel like it, though. After the record temperatures we had late last week, we almost broke another record high yesterday. We haven't gone anywhere this morning and midday so far. We've been stuck we were in the 30s and now in the low 40s at lunchtime. 40 Skytook, 41 downtown Tulsa, 42 Bixby, 44 in Coweta is the warm spot on the map for the metro. Again, low 40s north, mid to upper 40s south, and as you know, feels colder than that. Wind chill values still in the 30s when you tack on that pretty brisk, blustery north wind that we've had all day so far. Still gusting 15 and near 20, at least 20 to 25 miles per hour here at the lunchtime hour. Now, the good news is the winds will get lighter from here. By 3, 4 to 5 p.m., winds will be on a pretty notable downward trend. Just temperatures aren't going to recover much, even with the sunshine. Highs only in the mid-40s today. That's 20 to 30 degrees colder than it was in some spots yesterday. But notice the winds at least drop off to about 10 miles per hour by the 4 to 5 o'clock time frame. So getting calmer late in the day. So certainly a December-like start to the week. But guess what? There's another kind of weather whiplash ahead of us, another big warm-up by the end of the week. When will we go back to potentially T-shirt weather? Can you believe that? We'll talk about what looks like a kind of a wild 7-day forecast just a little bit.
The man charged with murdering Tulsa Police Sergeant Craig Johnson and hurting Officer Aresh Sarkishan is back in court today. A discovery hearing is happening right now in David Ware's case, where both sides will present the evidence that supports their side. Ware is charged with shooting the 2 officers during a traffic stop last year. His trial is set to start in April. We'll have more details from today's hearing coming up in our later newscasts.
New at noon, Oklahoma City police arrest a Moore Public Schools bus driver on suspicion of driving under the influence. This was the scene just before 8 o'clock this morning. Police say the driver was arrested on a complaint of DUI and drugs. There were no kids on the bus when it happened. All lanes at the Creek Turnpike are back open this afternoon after a car caught fire near the Highway 75 interchange. It happened right around 8:30 this morning. OHP says just the one car was involved and nobody was hurt. Still to come here at noon, why parents of the teen charged in the deadly Michigan school shooting say they weren't trying to run after they were charged.
Plus, the key group health experts say aren't getting vaccinated fast enough against the flu.
U.S. officials are rolling out new travel precautions as the Omicron variant of the coronavirus spreads. I'm Skyler Henry in Washington with the details and the latest from health experts.
The Biden administration is implementing new travel rules to help combat the spread of the Omicron variant, which is just now starting to take hold in the states.
And Skylar Henry has more information from Washington.
Beginning today, all travelers flying into the U.S. will have one more thing to do before boarding their flights.
We want to go around roughly 3 or 4 times in a circle.
Everyone aged 2 and up will need a negative COVID test at least 24 hours prior to takeoff. Previously, you had 72 hours to get tested. The rules cover vaccinated and unvaccinated passengers, and they also apply to U.S. citizens as well as foreign visitors.
We found out just randomly, so now we're like, well, do we wait? Do we do our test today? Do we do it tomorrow?
So far, there have been 0 deaths reported as a result of Omicron.
Thus far, it does not look like there's a great degree of severity to it, but we really got to be careful before we make any determinations that it is less severe or really doesn't cause any severe illness comparable to Delta.
As of now, all of the cases in the U.S. have been mild, but the variant is already in 17 states, and its spread is just getting started.
Really what we're going to see is over the next 3-4 weeks, dramatic increase in the number of cases of Omicron. And it's a perfect storm, right? The weather's getting colder, people are getting together for the holidays.
While scientists say there is still much to learn about Omicron, the early indicators out of South Africa show that being vaccinated and boosted is the best defense.
If you get boosted, you're going to get your level up, way up, and we feel certain that there will be some degree and maybe a considerable degree of protection against the Omicron variant.
New York Mayor Bill de Blasio announced this morning that beginning December 27th, all private businesses in the city will need to require their employees be vaccinated. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
In other news, the parents of the teenager charged in the Michigan high school shooting are in jail this afternoon. James and Jennifer Crumbly were arrested in Detroit after they were charged with involuntary manslaughter connected to that shooting. Law enforcement says the couple evaded arrest, but the couple disputes that.
They were never fleeing prosecution. I want to make that very clear with the court.
They were scared, they were terrified, they were not at home, they were figuring out what to do.
The Crumbleys are accused of buying the gun for their son Ethan as an early Christmas present. Ethan has since been charged as an adult with murder and terrorism.
And this just in, Brent Venables' first news conference just got underway in Norman. We are streaming that live on our News on 6 app, and we'll have more from it coming up in our later newscasts, and you can see it live right now where we are streaming it. Coming up, we're getting new information about the effectiveness of mixing and matching COVID-19 vaccines.
What the data shows about how doing so protects you from COVID.
And a December chill on the Osage Casino Skycam network. Big coat weather for a change, but how long will the big coat weather last, and when could we go back to t-shirt weather? We'll talk about a pretty active 7-day forecast after the break.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Narens.
It's one of the first days, really the first day in this month of December that we've had to have the big coat all day. You know, last week it was a lot of those layer up days where it was a little chilly in the morning and t-shirt weather in the afternoon. Yesterday, we almost set a record after we broke a record, I believe it was last Thursday. We almost set a record high last Friday. We almost set a record high yesterday, came 1 degree short, a high of 76 yesterday. And there's our high today of 46. That's where normal is. So really, in this cold front that barreled through here is a strong one. I know we had those pretty noisy storms last night, and then those howling north winds overnight. This has really just kind of brought us back down to where we're supposed to be for early December. But we are going to just keep kind of seesawing, whiplash, whatever you want to call it, back and forth in the days ahead as we see a big rebound in warm weather on the horizon eventually. That cold front now way off to our south and east has produced some severe weather this morning from Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee. Now it's all the way down to Jackson, Mississippi, Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, and continuing off to the south and east. Some good rainfall for some, unfortunately not for everyone, as that drought is continuing to creep back in. If you're north, generally north of I-44, north of Highway 412, but specifically north of I-44, that you didn't really pick up much because those storms really just kind of fired up right on top of the I-44 corridor. Tulsa, about 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. Of course, your backyard might have had a little bit different totals. Down around Bixby, at least a couple sensors down there recorded up to 1.5 inches of rain. That was kind of the heaviest amount there out towards Jay, over 1 inch of rain. You can tell that's where the heaviest storms were, though. Once that line of storms got about a county or two south of I-44, it really weakened. And so, unfortunately, only about 1/4 of an inch of rain, if that, for our southern counties. And with how windy it's been, as you know, we've dried out like that. So that's why fire danger is still elevated today because of those gusty winds and extremely low humidity. We're sitting at 42 degrees, that gusty north breeze. Look at the dew point of 20 and still falling. So that's why outdoor burning is still not a good idea today, even though we've had some places with wet soil. Last night and early this morning, we are drying out extremely quickly. And unfortunately, drought's going to be continuing to be a lingering issue, it looks like, for a while. Temperatures low 40s to mid 40s is all we can muster with that cold north breeze offsetting the sunshine we have. And yet we are running at least 25 to near 30 degrees colder than this time yesterday. That is just a little bit of a change, right? So the highs this afternoon, not a whole lot higher than where we are now. Low 40s north of Tulsa, mid 40s in the metro, upper 40s in southeastern Oklahoma. Light winds this evening. By the late evening hours, most of us will be falling below freezing. Tomorrow morning, we start off generally in the 20s, some mid-20s north of Tulsa. You notice the passing cloud cover during the morning, and then I think the clouds will actually kind of pick up by mid to late afternoon Tuesday. Still a chilly day. Winds will be lighter, but still chilly with highs upper 40s north and low 50s to the south. And then advancing this further into Wednesday, this is when we start to see the rebound really begin. Cold Wednesday morning around freezing. South winds start to kick back in. Upper 50s around 60 Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday, I think, overall might be the most pleasant day of the week just from a wind and temperature standpoint. However, it's going to get a lot warmer from there. Thursday, you notice clouds filling in. Lows in the 40s. We've got highs in the 40s today, and then highs in the upper 60s and low 70s Thursday afternoon. And then we go even higher than that. You remember we were talking about those record highs that we set or nearly set? Well, this is for this Thursday and this Friday. Yet again, near or potentially breaking record highs Thursday and Friday, all in a week's work for Oklahoma weather in December. So chilly days for the next couple of afternoons, a couple of mornings especially. Wednesday 60, Thursday 73, Friday 77. Goodness. But then another strong cold front late Friday night to Saturday morning. That'll cool us back off. Just a slight chance for precipitation, but more than anything else, that next cold front will likely knock us back again to more normal December cold over the weekend.
Thank you, Stephen. Well, a study of booster shot mixing and matching finds no clear winner.
According to new data from The Lancet, researchers studied boosters in nearly 3,000 people in the UK. The study compared a mix of full and half doses of Pfizer, Novavax, AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson, and Moderna. In the end, all of the participants showed an immune response no matter the booster.
And a new survey shows some of the most vulnerable people to severe flu illness are not protecting themselves. The National Foundation for Infectious Diseases found 45% of adults say they've gotten a flu shot. Flu cases, of course, way down last year because of all the pandemic precautions, but those numbers are back up this year.
There was so little flu last year, and vaccination didn't reach the usual levels. There's concern that many of us may have built up some susceptibility to flu. All the more important to get vaccinated.
Though flu shot effectiveness varies each season, public health experts say it prevents millions of infections and can reduce the severity of illness if you do get sick. Next here at noon, we go shopping with a cop as Tulsa County deputies work to make Christmas a little brighter for some local kids in need.
And local nonprofits make sure no one in Green Country goes cold this winter.
With much cooler weather in the forecast this week, families in need have some new coats thanks to donations from the community.
Wesley United Methodist Church held its second All Things Warm Coat Drive as a collaboration of several nonprofits. 15 different establishments within Tulsa collected winter coats, hats, gloves, blankets, and sleeping bags.
It makes me feel really good that God's blessed us with a lot of stuff to keep people warm and clothes to put on people. You know, I mean, it blesses my heart to see that people are having clothes and people are being able to stay warm on the streets.
Organizers say they donated 3 times as many coats this year as last.
Tulsa County deputies went Christmas shopping with some local kids in need and their families. Deputies were paired with kids and volunteers from the Bixby Rotary Club with a Christmas wish list. Members of the Rotary Club say by shopping with troopers, they hope kids can see them as regular people.
A lot of these underprivileged kids don't see cops in the right light, and they see them as maybe the enemy, somebody who takes people away from them or maybe puts them in jail, whereas this is just a way to kind of help them find presence and see cops in a better way.
Rotary Club members say the event was funded by donations from the community.
Coming up in our next half hour, the state unemployment rate is among the lowest in the nation. Why officials say it could drop even more.
And Tulsa's airport gets ready to implement some new federal rules to help stop the spread of COVID-19.
This is Oklahoma's own News on 6.
People traveling overseas for the holidays getting up to speed on more federal changes impacting their trips this afternoon.
Now, this means people traveling out of the country will need to get a COVID test before coming home. News on 6's Mallory Thomas is live at the airport with how passengers are handling the ever-changing aviation rules. Mallory?
Hi, Shannon. And couple travelers out here say that they are just constantly checking their airline itinerary, and they're also checking to see if there's any new COVID restrictions before they even get to the airport. And when they get to the airport, they say they're getting here several hours before they normally would. The new order from the CDC takes effect today, and it's for all passengers 2 years in age and older who are traveling outside of the United States. Starting today, passengers are required to show a negative COVID-19 test within 24 hours of their return flight back to America. The CDC website says that another option is to show documentation of recovering from COVID within the last 90 days of traveling. Amina Connolly is here at the airport dropping off her husband, and she says the best advice is to just, again, keep checking in with your airline and plan ahead for your time.
He's going to have to go international. So they already have a plan for him to have the PCR test or have any other test that he's required to by the, company or by international travel companies. So yeah, we definitely already have that information. It's all covered.
And coming up later at 4, we'll hear from TIA about how passengers are handling, again, those ever-changing rules and regulations. Live in Tulsa, Mallory Thomas, Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Mallory, thank you. The Oklahoma Department of Health is urging people to get vaccinated as a lot about the Omicron variant remains unknown. In a statement, Interim Health Commissioner Keith Reed says, in part, we urge Oklahomans to get vaccinated, and for those who are fully vaccinated and eligible, get a booster dose for additional protection. As we continue to learn more about the transmissibility of this new variant, the OSDH Public Health Lab is currently sequencing all positive COVID-19 test samples received at the lab. We will promptly inform Oklahomans if the variant is identified through these efforts.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Narens.
Just a slight change in the weather today. Did you feel it? I know, Captain Obvious here. I'm sure you have. It's just a little colder than the past couple of afternoons have been. We're sitting in the low 40s at the lunchtime hour. Plenty of sunshine, but a brisk north breeze is really offsetting all the sunshine that would normally warm us up today. Still 40 here at the lunchtime hour in Bartlesville. Grove, 39. Low 40s around the metro, all the way down to Okmulgee, McAllister, Wilburton, Stigler. You're in the upper 40s as well. Just not a lot of warm up this afternoon, even as the winds start to subside late in the day. I mean, they were howling overnight. We had 40, 45 mile an hour gusts overnight. It's been 15 to 25 miles per hour, if not stronger, this morning. Still in that range right now, but give it a couple more hours and the winds will subside. We get to about 3, 4 to 5 p.m. and those winds will be noticeably relaxing, thankfully. Temperatures this afternoon, though, notice not a whole lot higher than where we are right now. Low to mid 40s north and northeast of the Tulsa Metro, mid 40s in the Metro, and upper 40s in southeastern Oklahoma. That's about all we're going to be able to muster today. If you need to get some raking done, there's probably a lot more leaves after all the wind of the weekend and overnight and this morning. Getting better today, although still pretty breezy. Thankfully, Tuesday and Wednesday, the winds will be settling down quite a bit more, so better raking days ahead. And don't get too used to the cold weather sticking around long term, because we may be back to t-shirt weather again by the end of the week. We'll talk about this roller coaster ride continuing in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Stephen. The OESC says Oklahoma now has the 3rd lowest unemployment rate in the entire country. News on 6's Brooke Griffin spoke to the OESC, which says that rate could be even lower.
Well, the OESC tells us that the continued and initial unemployment claims have been dropping for 17 straight weeks. The Oklahoma Employment Security Commission says the state's unemployment rate is down to 2.7%. The commission says the levels we are seeing are pre-pandemic numbers. They say right now there are more than 100,000 open jobs across the state. The OESC says there are far more jobs available than people who need work right now. Taylor Adams says Oklahoma has also hit the lowest level of claims since the pandemic began, with the average amount being only about 1,800 claims per week.
This doesn't mean mean that we stop or we slow down in our workforce efforts. If anything, this revitalizes us to work even harder to continue to fill those positions.
And she says right now they're trying to get other people in from other states to come and fill those open jobs. She says that is their biggest campaign they're working on at the moment. In Tulsa, Brooke Griffin, Oklahoma's Own News on 6.
Registered independents will again be able to vote in state Democratic parties. The state election board says the Oklahoma Democratic Party says independents will now be allowed to vote in party primaries in 2022 and 2023 like they have the past 2 years. Parties must decide, though, whether or not to open their primaries. The Republican and Libertarian parties have until December 15th to decide whether they'll do the same.
Well, in just the last 15 minutes, the Biden administration announced a diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Winter Olympics. President Biden has been considering this since November over concerns of alleged human rights abuses in China. The move would keep U.S. officials from attending the games, but does not keep the athletes from it. Well, the Thunder are in Detroit tonight looking to snap an 8-game losing streak and losing 10 of their last 11. The team is coming off the bad side of an NBA record blowout against the Memphis Grizzlies. Tip-off against the Pistons is at 6 o'clock tonight.
After the break, it is time for a good read.
I sit down with our friend Connie Cronley to talk about a children's book rescuing and retelling the story of Little Black Sambo, as well as a new Irish tale. Welcome back. Connie Cronley is with us to talk about a few of her latest reads. Connie, welcome back. Good to see you. You got two different books here. We got a children's book and a non-children's book. Tell me about it.
I have brought two happy books for the holidays.
Love it.
Let me tell you about the Irish novel. It's called This Is Happiness by Niall Williams. And it came out in 2019, called one of the best books of the year. And it's set in an Irish village in 1957 on the West Coast. Electricity is coming to the village. Two main characters, a 17-year-old boy who thought he was going to be a priest, but now he's not sure, so he's come to stay with his grandparents, and a 50-year-old man who's come back to the village to make amends for the sweetheart he left behind. Isn't that sweet?
That is very sweet. Is it almost like an age of innocence or something leading up to
It
this?
It is like sort of a mythical village that never was, but it's like 400 pages of lovely, lush Irish language. I'm going to read you the opening, because on this day on the west coast of Ireland, it always rains. It's like this.
Okay.
It's a condition of living. The rain comes straight down and sideways and forwards and backwards and any other wards God can think of. It came in sweeps and waves and veils. It came dressed as drizzle, as mizzle, as mist, as showers, frequent and widespread, as a wet fog, a damp day, a drop, a deeping, and an out-and-out downpour.
I love that.
But on this day, the rain stops, and they don't know what to make of this. Sunshine.
It's almost kind of poetic in the way it's written.
The story and the poetry and the prose, it's just a wonderful book. And then we have this children's book.
A very different book.
A very different one. But it makes me so happy. When I was a child, my mother and I loved the book Little Black Sambo, about a little boy who tricks tigers into running in circles till they melt. But it's been out of fashion. It's been discarded as racist. And so, two black men, Jerry Pinkner and Julius Lester, an illustrator and an author, thought this ought to be changed, because they said when they were little black children, it was the only children's book that had a black child as a hero. So they have rediscovered and retold this story.
The original story was from 1899.
1899.
How is this one different? I mean, you said that you've read both. Is there any differences?
It's set in sort of a mythical place, this one is, where people and animals live together as naturally as it was. And he's now Sam, and his parents buy him new school clothes. That's the story. He has, listen to this poetry, a red coat as red as a happy heart, and a yellow shirt as yellow as tomorrow.
I like that.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
And he still tricks the tigers, and they melt down to butter, and Sam's mom, who's also named Sam, makes pancakes, and they all come together, animals and people, and eat all the pancakes they want.
And one thing I loved about it, I was just flipping through, is the illustrations. Great illustrations.
The illustrations are so lush, and Publishers Weekly called this book hip and hilarious. And these two men also reclaimed the Uncle Remus stories. So I'm on a quest to get one of those now.
All right, Connie, I love it. Two great books, a children's book and a novel, but you can read both of them even as an adult.
Absolutely.
All right.
Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays to you too, Connie. Thank you so much. Coming up, we head to the cooking corner where Panera Bread shows us how to make hazelnut coffee pudding parfaits. And a cold front has settled in over the OCH Casino Skycam network. Steven tells us when we'll warm back up. Coming up.
From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Narrens.
We had near record high temperatures yesterday afternoon. A little bumpy yesterday evening. Last night was that cold front brought some thunderstorms around Tulsa, I-44, and then further to the south and east. That cold front long gone now. You can tell where it is. Storms continuing across Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern Alabama. We've got the chillier air in its wake, at least for a few days. But you talk about the roller coaster ride we've been on recently. It's been all up as we end November and these first several days of December. It might be hard to see. I got a lot of yellows and oranges on here, but the normal lines right in here. That's where we're supposed to be for highs this time of year in the lower to mid 50s. Look where we've been outside of Saturday, where we took kind of a little dip with some cloudier conditions. We've been in the mid to upper 70s. Record high Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. We almost broke record highs. And now just to give you a comparison of where we're headed, we'll talk about what the actual numbers look like in a second. Can you say another roller coaster? We're starting off on a chilly December-like note, but look where we're headed, up the roller coaster again. Thursday, Friday afternoon, we're again talking about highs at or more than 20 degrees above normal for this time of year before another cold front just knocks us back to normal this weekend. That's just kind of the pattern we're in right now, where warm weather overall is kind of ruling the prevailing trend, but there are strong cold fronts to at least knock us back to normal every so often. That's where we're at right now. We're settling down kind of the bottom of that trend for the moment. Looking from Gathering Place, it is a nice sunny day. Looks beautiful. This doesn't feel quite as nice as yesterday afternoon. Low 40s north, mid to upper 40s south is all we're mustering right now, and that is 25 to 30 degrees colder than this time yesterday. I know you know that if you've been outside. It's kind of Captain Obvious, right? Highs today, 40s eastern Oklahoma, all the way down to the Red River. Ardmore, Durant, Idabel, only in the low 50s today. Some passing clouds tonight and into the morning. Lows in the 20s on our side of the states. It'll be a cold start. Might be some passing, very light sprinkles tomorrow, but the air is going to be really, really dry. So if we see anything showing up on radar on Tuesday, it probably won't reach the ground. But an increase in clouds will keep our temperatures from going too far. So chilly again on Tuesday, upper 40s to low 50s for our highs. Wednesday, that system passes us by. This is where the warming trend really starts to kick in. We'll be around freezing Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, south winds, upper 50s to around 60. Pretty good, all things considered. It just goes soaring from there, though. 40s Thursday morning, highs Thursday afternoon, despite cloud cover in the upper 60s and low 70s with stronger south winds. This is how it looks on our side of the state, kind of a zoomed in view for Thursday afternoon. Upper 60s and low 70s. Again, keep in mind, as you know, normal high, low 50s. And believe it or not, it goes higher than this on Friday. We just talked about the records that we broke or almost broke over the last several days. This is for this Thursday. Record high is 75. Close to that. Record high for Friday, also 75, which, by the way, we just set last year, just broke last year, and we're currently forecasting a high temperature above that. If that's not Oklahoma weather in a nutshell, I don't know what is. So chilly to start the week. Lighter winds Tuesday and Wednesday, so that'll make things more pleasant than the gusty winds we've had today. And then back to t-shirt afternoons Thursday and Friday. There's that next strong cold front, maybe a few showers with it, but the moisture's kind of limited. More than anything else, that cold front will just bring us the gusty north winds on Saturday, and temperatures getting back to a little more normal December-like values Saturday and on Sunday.
All right, thank you, Stephen. Well, welcome back to the Cooking Corner on this Monday. Liz Talafero from Panera joins us today to make hazelnut coffee pudding parfaits. Liz, welcome back. Your second time here.
Yes.
Happy to have you for this. And coffee, no better ingredient to use in any recipe, in my opinion.
I agree completely.
Okay, so how do we start with these parfaits?
All right, well, this is going to be a great, easy go-to for all those coffee lovers. Try to slip coffee into everything. I'm guilty. So first, we need a small package of instant pudding mix, vanilla flavored. It's one of those little 3.4 ounce boxes, one of the little ones. So we mix that with 1 cup of milk.
Oh, that's cute. I don't know if I've ever seen one.
No, right?
That's small.
It's perfect.
It is. So a cup of our milk, mixing that in there.
1 cup of milk and 1 cup of Panera's hazelnut coffee. And you can get this in stores in K-cups, or you can come by and get it at one of your Paneras.
As is, already made.
Yes.
Okay.
And then we're going to set aside a 1/4 cup for later. Then we're just going to whisk this together.
And that's the best part about whisking. Doesn't take too long with this.
Not at all.
Very quick. And that's the color that we want to get from this.
Yep.
That kind of light brownish.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice coffee flavor pudding.
Yes.
So after you mix that up, you're going to set it in the fridge for at least 10 minutes. And then,
what does the fridge do to it exactly?
It just lets it set, lets it get thicken the pudding. And then we have some marble cake here, and we're going to dice this into cubes.
And this is also at Panera?
We have a cinnamon crumb cake, yeah. This is just from the store though, so it's just chocolate.
Okay.
So we're going to dice that up. And then we have our pudding here that I have already chilled. And this is whipped cream. I made this already. You can make it with 1 cup of heavy cream, whisk it together with 2 tablespoons of sugar. Okay. Or you can buy whipped cream, whatever you would prefer. Then we're just going to layer up a parfait. So we're going to get about 1/4 cup of the coffee pudding. Put in some of the cubes of marble cake.
Get different textures going on here.
And then we're going to drizzle some of the coffee on top of the cake.
So that's where that comes back.
A little more coffee.
Nice.
Yes,
Okay.
always. And
pure coffee on that one.
Yeah.
Top it with our whipped cream.
A little bit of whipped cream and some chocolate chips. And you just layer it up again too.
And easy as that.
As easy as that.
And you said for the coffee, can you go in and just ask for the K-cups?
No, we
that
don't
you
sell
have?
them there. You have to get those at the,
Those are at the
grocery
store.
Yes.
Okay, but you just have the coffee, like you said, already made that you could
Yes.
get. Okay, wanted to clarify that. All right, Liz, thank you so much.
Thank
It
you.
looks good. And it's a good treat for this time of year.
Yes.
The coffee is good any time of year. You can check out this recipe and others just like it by logging on to newson6.com/recipes. Well, after this break, the Chicago Bears struggling not just on the field, apparently in the stands as well. That story's next.